Okay. Next team.
Louisville.
Whoa.
8.5 over under.
I'm taking slight under. I have them as 8-4.
Yeah. Lost at Notre Dame last year, to SMU, to Miami, to Stanford. They did win the Sun Bowl. They finished 9-4. So those are all relatively close losses. Some of them, final score maybe doesn't indicate what the game flow was like.
And weird close wins like Virginia. Yeah.
Yeah. It's another big transfer class for Louisville. This is very quickly becoming a thing for Jeff Brohm. 31 new guys coming in, the biggest of which is Miller Moss, the former USC quarterback. Moss watch of
the benched USC quarterback. I think that's important context. Continue.
He played most of the year.
Okay. And if he were so good. Continue.
He played most of the year.
Yeah. Nearly beat Maryland. Continue.
Do you just want to take this time for yourself to
no,
dunk on USC?
I'm just filling in the blanks here. I've got my ice cream scoop out, and I'm filling in your cup of moss. Continue.
We can't do a Heat-themed episode and an ice cream-themed episode at once.
Well, that's the duality of man, Ty. You know? You run a little hot, you run a little cold. Continue.
I think Louisville's at a good place.
Okay.
Louisville's at a good place as a program. This is the third straight year now where they've pulled in a ton of guys. And each of the previous two, Brohm and his brother, Brian Brohm, have done a really good job integrating them into the system. So I think you look, there is definitely an impulse to look at a team that brings in a bunch of transfers and say, wow, I don't know if they can do it. These guys have done it. They've done it. So ignore Louisville at your own peril. I think they'll be fine. What makes Louisville interesting to me, though, among teams that are at or near that upper crust of the conference, they're the ones, to me, with the widest range of results. Like, I could make a really compelling case for 7-5. I could probably make a compelling case for 10-2.
Okay.
And that, to me, is really what it comes down to for Louisville. I need to know what it's going to take for Louisville to make the big jump forward. Who's going to be that guy? Is it Isaac Brown? Is it Miller Moss? Is it somebody else? What is the X factor that is suddenly going to transform this team from a 4-loss team like we saw last year to, let's say, 10-2 and a playoff contender?
Right.
Because I like them. I just don't like them that much. And that's my issue here.
I'm with you. Yeah, I think it's star power as well. I think they're counting on, it's not just transfer, it's small school transfers. It was like, this guy was a star at Coastal Carolina. This guy was a star at Miami of Ohio, whatever. That sounds like I'm being dismissive. I'm not. I just think they're like my salt and straw team of the ACC. Yeah. That when you're saying, okay, the line of scrimmage is being completely rebuilt with transfers on both the offensive and defensive lines. Okay. It could go super well. Look, my team is doing this too. My beautiful, beautiful Oregon Ducks, I think, are starting 3 transfers along the offensive line this season. And so it can go really, really well. But if a guy gets hurt, if a couple guys get hurt, and you're dealing with a unit that's never played together and known each other for 3 weeks or something like, it just worries me a little bit in terms of me thinking you have 9-3, 10-2 type vibes. I'm not in love with Miller Moss. I'm not in love with where they are at receiver. I do really like that. It's Duke Watson and Isaac Brown in the backfield on offense.
Yeah, I'll talk about that next. I don't hate the receiver room, though.
No, I like Chris Bell, but like,
it's not going to blow the doors off you, but it's at least a veteran presence with Cullen Lacey and Chris Bell. It's not bad. It's just
but
not
Lacey missed
headline.
like 9 games last year. Okay. I want to know what, if you think they're going to run super well, then I guess that's the answer. But what is it like to go 9-3 in a major conference? I think you need to point to a like something specific that you're like, this is who we are, and we do it significantly well. And to me, it's not obvious for Louisville right now.
I do think the running game is the bigger story. Okay. I adore Isaac Brown.
It's great.
The first true freshman in school history to break 1,000 yards rushing last season. Ended up being ACC Freshman of the Year. Between him and Duke Watson, this is one of the better running back rooms in the country. It is. So I think Jeff Brohm going hard after offensive line in the portal is significant. They did add 6 guys, who were full-time starters. I think it's clear that he wants to steer into this side of the offense.
Okay.
Miller Moss is love him or hate him, a veteran of college football at this point. He's been around a long time. I think that was a good get for them to go out and get him, and they do have that track record for taking in transfer quarterbacks and making them better. They've done it each of the last 2 years. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see a jump from him. It wouldn't surprise me if we see a really run-heavy offense this year, leaning on a guy like an Isaac Brown and obviously Duke Watson as well. I think the offense will be fine because Louisville's pretty good at offense. The Brohms know how to do this.
Sure.
They've got a great set of linebackers, too. TJ Quinn, Stanquan Clark, Antonio Watts. I'm unclear about the line. I'm unclear about the back four. But the linebackers, at least, they're good. The real wet blanket here, though, is the schedule, Dan.
Buddy, they could lose to a Sun Belt team week 2. Your Dukes.
James Madison.
Yeah.
This is a tough schedule. They're at Miami. They're at Virginia Tech. They've got Clemson at home. They're at SMU. They close out the year, the Governor's Cup against Kentucky. Yeah. Also, the week 2 game against James Madison, which you should not sleep on. That is one of 3 Friday night games, by the way, for Louisville. I think they're good enough offensively to score on pretty much everyone. The defense, though, is going to be a limiting factor. And
okay,
I have a fair amount of confidence when it comes to the Brohms figuring out a way to integrate new pieces, but there are a lot of new pieces.
Yeah.
And it's, as we saw with Florida State a year ago, you can't always count on that just popping and working.
Oh, he's definitely a chopped coach. He's definitely like, you hand him some ingredients, you hand him Jack Plummer, he'll be like, all right, I can figure something out here. We'll get some garlic, soy, honey, ginger on Jack Plummer, and we'll make this
needed a lot
workable.
of garlic and honey ginger on Jack Plummer, yeah.
But I mean, what was the number? It was like 28 out, 30 in.
I've got
something like
31
that.
in.
31 in and 28, 29 out. Something like that,
yeah.
Okay.
If I had a bet, I'd say 9-3.
All right. I have 8-4 here. Yeah.
I think they lose at Miami. I think they lose against Clemson at home. I think there's at least one other one somewhere in there. Maybe at Pitt earlier in the year. But
I mean, we're glossing over a number of these teams that are all going to go 6-6 and 7-5 and have to populate their record with wins. So, like, Boston College is going to beat one of these teams.
Sure.
Virginia Tech is going to beat one of these teams. Virginia is going to beat one of these teams. NC State's going to beat 3 of these teams. Like, somebody is going to pop up. And so I'm not there. And if Miller Moss finds his groove in a new offense, in a new setting, and is able to finish games in ways that, the offenses he led at USC weren't able to do, and you can spread the blame around to multiple pieces there. But I don't know, he's the guy with the ball in his hands on all those drives.